Working on old Crusty the plow truck today. I'm in the midst of an alternator changeout. The alternator has two mounting points down here and up here. And this truck had the old 2G alternator in it. The amperage wasn't very good and I couldn't even run my lights and my heater at the same time. So I'm going to upgrade to the 3G type alternator. A lot of them 2Gs have a push-in connector. This one was upgraded at some point. And that connector apparently is a fire hazard. Here's my 2G, that's where that connector would go. And there's another plug-in connector on it. That plug-in connector seems to be the same for the 3G type alternator. This alternator here was probably 75 amps or less, and this one was quite a bit more. I want a lot more amps for when I'm running the plow, and I want to be able to run the heater when it's cold so I'm not freezing in the truck. I found a picture on the internet about the wiring differences, and it really isn't that much. The guy at the alternator shop put this alternator together in about 5 minutes. He clocked it the direction I needed. This whole back piece can probably be moved in any direction. And he put on the pulley that I needed. So hopefully the belt I have will work. He gave me new plugs. I don't even think I'm going to need this one. It appears to be the same plug and the same wire positions for both alternators. He did give me the correct plug for the stator wire. And here's the battery connection. He even gave me a ring terminal for that. He's quite a bit cheaper than some of the online guys. I did find an alternator up to 250 amps online. It's pretty crazy. And for that matter, if you're upgrading at all, you want to consider putting a bigger cable on here with some sort of fusible link or circuit breaker. This alternator here puts out enough amps that I am probably going to do that, but that won't be in this video. So here's what would have been called the flaming connector. And I'm just going to cut that off nice and tight. These two fatty black ones are the battery connection. Those will be stripped and twisted together temporarily until I get my permanent cable in there. Here are the alternators side by side. You can see that the left one is clocked differently. And the left one has an internal fan, unlike the old 2G. The left one has quite a bit bigger body, so I'm going to have to do some grinding on those brackets. So here's what the untouched brackets look like. I'm going to definitely have to do some grinding in this area, and possibly some in here. And I'll do that with a non-ferrous grinding burr. Here's my die grinder and that grinding burr. Here it is fitted. You can see I have the bottom pivot bolt in, and it's rotated past the top mounting point. I'll give you guys a look at what I ground there. I just had to do some very minimal grinding right here to clearance it in that one spot. This hole on the original alternator was threaded. This one is not. 3/8 inch bolt fits through there pretty good, but the hole in the bracket is huge. I want to get it pretty close to where the original was, so I turned a bushing on the old south bend out of some aluminum, and just go ahead and tap that in there. There it be. I'm going to clean this up now and get to some wiring. So here are my connections. I just put this plug on the white wire, and then I put those two fat black ones together. Here's what it's looking like installed. I did have to file a little bit on that spacer up there because those holes weren't perfectly aligned, and the clocking of the alternator worked out great. We're going to fire it up now and take a voltage read. Okay, we're going to try the plow here once. So she's charging pretty good, but you could probably use a second battery. As far as the plow truck is concerned, that'll most likely be the next modification. I shouldn't have to freeze my nuts off anymore and worry about having the headlights on and running the heater on high. All that's left here is to run a new positive cable from that alternator to the battery with a circuit breaker. Then we'll get a couple new, maybe deep cycle batteries and run them in parallel. Problem with this truck, trying to find a place to fit a second battery in here, it's pretty tight. This is a big old battery here. I don't know what we're going to do about that. We'll run the plow up once inside here. See how much it taxes that battery. We're kind of thinking about doing something with this reservoir here and putting a battery there so the weight would be equaled out. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.